This right here is an example of Hot Toys operating at near peak performance. Let's take a look. Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the newly announced Hot Toys 1/6 scale Hera Syndulla from the TV show Ahsoka. Now this particular character originated in the animated series Rebels, which this is not. This is based on the real life. I believe this is actually Ewan McGregor's wife in real life, the actress that plays Hera Syndulla in the Ahsoka show. So yeah, it's based on the likeness from the live action Ahsoka show and not Rebels. Because, well, then again, she originated in Rebels, but I suppose Ahsoka was a continuation of Rebels, really more so than actually about Ahsoka. I gotta say, I woke up this morning, I saw this, and it made me wish that I'd actually enjoyed the Ahsoka show. I don't think the Ahsoka show was good. I don't think it's particularly good TV. I don't think it's particularly good Star Wars. It's just an opinion. If that offends you, I recommend a good therapist. But yeah, this here is fantastic. When I saw this, it kind of like, I was in two minds. One mind was like, I wished I really enjoyed Ahsoka, because the way I collect, I really need to like or love the source material in order to commit. Things typically have to be a triple threat. I have to love the character, love the source material, and love that particular version. But because I didn't love Ahsoka, didn't really like Ahsoka, the show, therefore this is kind of automatically ruled out for me. And that was one train of thought that was a bit disappointing. And then the other side of the thing was like, man, I'm going to save a lot of money because they'll probably go deep into this line, I'd imagine. This is so good. And if you noticed in the intro, I said this is an example of Hot Toys operating at near peak performance. The only reason I'm saying near peak performance is because I don't believe this is a real leather jacket, which I don't think is actually a nitpick. We've seen real leather material used before. Now, I know in the last few years they've pretty much been giving us like pleather or alternatives and stuff like that. I know that new Bane figure, that the Bane 2.0 that's due to come out, is not pleather, and the original Bane 1.0 had multiple issues we won't get into, but the pleather actually peeled, the same as the actual Catwoman from The Dark Knight Rises. Then we saw Days of Future Past Wolverine. Fantastic looking piece, great head sculpt, accessories, base and all that, but a real leather jacket. And I think that Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny that's yet to hit Sideshow, that's real leather as well. But I don't think this is real leather. Now, we'll have a look at the description, but that's why I said near peak performance. Because apart from that, I think this is super looking. That head sculpt, there's a few things Hot Toys do really well. They do older characters really well, probably because there's more wrinkles, more textures, scars, whatever. And especially for characters bald as well, if they're not worried about the head sculpt, like that Tamora Morrison Boba Fett, which is pretty much a 10 out of 10. Like, it's just a fantastic piece. But they also do things really well. Characters with, like, strange colors, like the blue Yondu or the blue Cad Bane, they just absolutely nail the likes, and the purple Thanos. And this here, I'm stumped. I think this is absolutely stunning. It looks exactly like the actress with the green makeup and stuff like that, as seen in the show. I mean, where do we even start? Just the face itself. Just the face itself is absolutely stunning. I think it looks exactly like it. Those piercing eyes, I don't remember if her eyes were that blue in the show, but I gotta say they must have been, because this looks exactly what my memory, like I can picture her in my head the way she looked in the show. This kind of mask thing that she wears, like to cover up part of her forehead. I can't remember. Are these aren't Lekus, or are they Lekus? I know Ahsokas are called Lekus. I don't think they're the same species. Please let me know in the comment section down below. But then it looks like leather. The texture looks like leather, but I don't think it's actually leather. I will read about that anyway. The jacket looks good as well, even just from the shoulders here. There's kind of sheepskin style jacket here. The goggles and the weathering on the goggles looks great. I gotta say, I'm very impressed. I want to take a look at everything she comes with before I move on any further. So, what we have here is, just on the left here, she's holding this, I don't know, is it a tracking device or something? I can't remember what it was used in the show. I think it was some sort of tracking device. I like that. Cool accessory. Very, very unique. Quite big as well. So that jacket looks great. The proportions look very well. So then you've got a bunch of swap out hands. I'm noticing Hot Toys recently, it's either a feast or a famine when it comes to swap out hands. I've noticed that as well, that sometimes they don't give us opposites. Like if they give us a left trigger finger, they don't give us a right trigger finger, or sometimes even like a left open palm and right open palm and stuff like that. Like, you'd think at the very basics, every figure should come with 2 relaxed hands, 2 fisted hands, 2 trigger fingers, like, or lightsaber holding hands, whatever. But sometimes there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 spare hands, and then in this case there's like 10. Regular kind of I suppose a Star Wars style base. Thank God it's not the sand base. You have this container, which I'm not sure what it is. I cannot remember from the show. On the left here, to the left of the hands, detailed embroidery design. Doesn't say anything about real leather, so that suggests it's probably not. It's probably like pleather or some other plastic alternative. Separate rolling eyeballs function, excellent. Those eyes look absolutely piercing. This kind of tracking device, surprised I didn't label that. I think the satchel is really, really cool looking. I think it's a great accessory. I love those small accessories, like whether it's the Indiana Jones satchel or whether it's the Mandalorian kind of over shoulder bag that he carries Grogu in. I like the way you can see a few little tools and stuff like that inside in the piece of this satchel here on the left with the button on it, and of course then that kind of metal clasp. It almost looks like there's a light up function on that. It doesn't actually light up. I like the blaster. I think those kind of stubby blasters are quite cool, kind of like I think Bo-Katan used them as well. Strange choice, strange accessory that they've added here as well, but you look, Hot Toys be Hot Toys. I mean, usually they show boots here, but yeah, each to their own. So let's just flick through some of these photos. I gotta say, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by the sculpt. I'm very impressed by the proportions. I'm very impressed with how the clothes are sitting on her. Okay, so like there's no like excess. It's like very, very fitted, even though it's not a leather jacket. That sheepskin jacket, that pleather like material, it is sitting quite well. But I would worry, like even if you pose it like that and you set it there for a long time, it has that bend at the elbow, will that start to peel? I suppose it depends on your environment. I have pieces with pleather in them. I've had no issues, but I mean, Ireland, like it's a cool, temperate kind of a climate. It never gets too hot, too cold, and humidity tends to be not an issue. So that benefits the longevity of the figures, I think, as well as keeping it in a temperature controlled room for the most part. Really like that kind of stubby blaster. I gotta say, like they've nailed this. The figures so far from Ahsoka have been really good looking. Like the Sabine is on point. I didn't particularly like the character. Definitely not going to get it. This is on point. And like, but the only thing is, like, this actually reminds me of, like, as much as this figure is fantastic and she looks great, I did find her dialogue in particular in parts of the show was it was very it seemed a bit flat and empty, to be honest, and it's kind of like ping pong dialogue, and it really took me out of the show a bit. Like, but again, that's not the actress's fault. That is, she's playing she's reading the script that well, sometimes she sounded like she was reading the script, but yeah, she was dealing with the script she was given. Okay, this looks stunning. Simple walk and pose, the proportions on point. Like, this is exactly how I remember her in the show. It's funny, those pants, those, like, they just remind me of snowboarding pants. Do you know that kind of style of snowboarding pants? You like it, obviously, like I go snowboarding when I can, and like it's typically like a lot of people have like bright like yellow or orange pants with that. It actually looks like they modeled the outfit, those pants, off a pair of ski pants. But yeah, this all looks the business. Like, looks great proportions. I love the pop of color. That's one thing. If you're planning on getting all the pieces, assuming that they, go and give you Ahsoka the White and give you a Hu Yang and give you like Balin and Shin, or the Night Sisters, Thrawn, there's Chopper. Like, they've already given us Chopper. She's going to look fantastic next to Chopper. If they do that, the line is going to go pretty deep, and there's a lot of bright colors in the line. It's really going to add a lot of pop to the usually muted Star Wars color. Yeah, to be honest, I can't say enough good about this. Like, if I was to critique, the base is boring, but I mean, I wouldn't use a base any if I was going to pick this up. And it's better than the sand base, and let's face it, it wouldn't make sense. But then again, they have thrown in that sand base with figures that it really didn't. They threw them in a droid and had human footprints. Like, I just love that accessory. I think it's a tracker. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section down below. The only thing about this figure, I presume, yeah, if they'd swapped out the coat for actual real leather, that would have been an improvement. Maybe this part on her head, but that might be very difficult to do. I'm not sure if that's plastic or pleather. I'm hoping that for the people who are getting this, that the top there is plastic at least, and not going to worry about that being stressed or peeling. And I'm hoping maybe that's an improved texture on the jacket and it's not just straight up pleather, because we know how that ends. Like, any Rebels fans, like, I don't think there's going to be Rebel fans out there that are going to resist this, because like everyone loves that Chopper droid. Yeah, separate rolling eyeballs function, going to be able to change up the expression a bit. like even that, like I love that because I've said it before, it's well documented. I like figures that come with lots of accessories that you can actually pose the accessories and not make it just look like you're shoehorning all the accessories in. Like if you look at her here, like obviously she's got the coat on and you know, she has the, I suppose, the goggles and stuff like that. I don't think you can actually put the goggles over the eyes from what I understand. But I will continue to look through the rest of the photos. So you've got the satchel there over on her right shoulder, on her left hip. You've got the holster and that kind of typical Star Wars belt that everyone seems to have. I think this first person I saw with that belt was Jedi Luke in Return of the Jedi, 83. And then you've got the kind of the holster on the right, and of course she's holding the gun, and she has that, I believe, tracking device that she's holding onto there, and of course the jacket, because that's something that typically if she was walking with that and blasting her way out or something, that's how she would walk. Like some of these images do look like stills. They look like principal photography or something like that, behind the scenes shots. Yeah, like I don't think there's any question. I would imagine a lot of people who are getting Chopper are getting Hera, or people who are getting Hera are getting Chopper. And even that could be your Rebels, if you wanted just, if you weren't going down the whole Ahsoka line and you just wanted to get like a Rebels representation, her and Chopper would look super on the shelf. That looks like a photo. Like I'm telling you, Hot Toys are just getting better and better and better. Like, okay, like 90% of stuff they do, they're hits. And then we do have, like, there's a small percentage that are your Ant-Mans and your Tony Stanks and stuff like that. And then there's some that are just like, nah. But like 90% they do great jobs and they're continually improving. Like some of these I'm just really impressed. I'm really impressed by some of these images. Like, again, that looks like a movie still. If you showed that to someone that wasn't a collector, there is no way. The first glance they'd be like, yeah, it's a person. It's your one Hera from that show. They'd have to really zoom in and scrutinize that to tell the difference between it. Yeah, super stuff. Hats off, Hot Toys. Hats off. What's this here? Detailed embroidery design. So, I'm trying to think. All right, this is her left shoulder. And this is her back right shoulder. So this one I'm looking at here on the left with these two patches, that's her back right shoulder. Okay, you can see the sheepskin coming over. And then this is her left front right. So there's a patch on each side. And there's one on the back right shoulder. Very interesting. Yeah, moving on. So yeah, Hera Syndulla, $260 up for pre-order now at Sideshow, wherever you want to get it. It comes out, I think it's Q4. It's due, slated to be released Q4 of 2024 or Q1 of 2025. Strange seeing 2025 on that timeline. That's the end of the video. In conclusion, hats off to Hot Toys. This is them at their near peak performance. They'd swapped out that coat now for a real leather coat, and I think this would be, you know, a 10/10. I'd say I'd give it about a 9. Head sculpt's bloody 10. But again, didn't enjoy the show, so I've got to allocate funds to the figures from IPs and from shows that I absolutely love, but I think a lot of people are going to be happy today. That's it. Right, if you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking this one up or not. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.